Before we get into this episode, if you've been listening to Wind the Q and getting something out of it, we appreciate it. And if you want to support the show, we've got a monthly support option set up through the link in the description. If not, just listening and sharing goes a long way. All right, let's get to it. Every firefighter wants to get better. At least that's what they say. We buy the books, we watch the videos, we follow instructors online, we travel to conferences, we post quotes about training. But wanting to improve and actually being coachable are two very different things, because coachable doesn't mean you love training. Coachable means you're willing to hear something that you don't want to hear. It means someone points out a mistake, and instead of getting defensive, you get curious. It means asking questions instead of making excuses. Some of the best firefighters I've ever worked with weren't the smartest in the room. They weren't the strongest. They weren't the fastest. They were simply teachable. They understood something a lot of people miss. The day you think you've got this job figured out is the day you stop getting better. And the fire service has a way of exposing people who quit learning. Today we're talking about coachability, why some firefighters grow, why others plateau, how ego quietly gets in the way, and why humility might be one of the greatest tools you'll ever carry.
Boots hit the floor, jump in our gear, mask, gloves, door, screaming down the street.
Welcome back to Wind the Q, the stories behind the Sirens. I'm Lieutenant Dodson, engine officer here in Northwest Georgia. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been with us since season 1, thank you for coming back. Today's guest is Firefighter Adam Hollis. Adam joined us in season 1 to talk about what it's really like during your first year in the fire service. Today, we're going a completely different direction. This conversation isn't just for new firefighters. It's for firefighters with 1 year, 10 years, 30 years, because every one of us has someone we can still learn from. Adam, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
So everybody says they want somebody who's coachable. What do you think that actually looks like? If you define the word coachable.
Well, I mean, growing up playing sports, I'd just about say since I could walk.
Yeah.
For me, it's been kind of ingrained into my head. And so, I mean, throughout all facets of my life, that's kind of the attitude that I've really approached a lot of situations with. Because, I mean, it's a very versatile mindset.
Yep.
Because, I mean, if you look at it from a sports standpoint, you know, if you are struggling with some aspect of, you know, football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport you play, I mean, you'll have the talent that you naturally have. You know, some people are just gifted, God-gifted.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that can only take you so far.
I agree.
Because eventually you'll get to a point where you have to stop and kind of reassess what's going on. Because you're going to hit a wall. Or it may not be as severe as a wall, but it may be a little speed bump or something.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times becoming coachable or changing your mindset to that coachable mentality, being able to listen to somebody that's done it, you know, listen to somebody that's trained through it, listen to somebody that's lived it, will kind of push you past that speed bump or that wall that you're running into. Like I said, it can be used for more than just sports, you know. I mean, something that nobody told me when I got married was you got to be coachable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, by your wife, you know, because, you know, as a guy, you know, you kind of want to be like, well, I know everything. You know, I know what needs to be done. I know what I got to do. And you kind of get this mindset where, like, you're right all the time.
Yeah.
And the faster you learn that that's not the case, the better. And that's part of being coachable.
That's right.
You know, that's part of being coachable and, you know, listening to whatever your wife has to say, whatever, her feelings are if you're doing something or if you're not doing something. And, she opens up to you about it. You got to be able to take that.
That's right.
And have that kind of coachable mindset so that you can fix it or be better or, whatever you can do. I know I had to pretty early on in our marriage. And I honestly believe if I didn't have that, coachable mindset that, things probably could have ended for the worse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, you can take it from that. I know another really big part of my life is bodybuilding. And, I literally have a coach. And I would say 85 to 90% of what I do with bodybuilding is being coachable.
Yeah.
It's one month I'm, running through one workout split. And I may really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the next month, my coach will see something and, she'll say, hey, we need to work on this. Like, this is kind of lacking.
Yeah.
And, she may make my workout split very, like, heavily leg focused or back focused. And I may hate the workout split, but I gotta do it.
It's part of the program.
Because that's what she sees needs to be, done. And then, you got your diet that you're working with. Because, you have your off season where you're going to be kind of maintaining. You may go into a body recomp phase. And then once you start ramping up to get ready for a show, your calories are going to start kicking up.
Yeah.
And you got to be coachable in the mindset of, being able to listen to her or listen to your coach. Make sure you're making your meals, make sure you're meal prepping, make sure you're getting your food intake like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And then, obviously it's going to transition from that into, prep. And prep is huge on a coachable mentality.
That's true.
Because that's when your mindset, your mental strength's really tested.
Yeah.
And you have to have that coachable mentality and just discipline as well to stay the course. And then finally speaking, just from the fire service side of it, I guess I can kind of say I'm not a rookie anymore. I got a rookie underneath me now. But in my head, I'm still a rookie because I want to be a sponge. I want to be a coachable firefighter. And, what that looks like for me is, whether we go out to do training and, I think, maybe I feel like a hot shot that day.
Yeah.
Maybe I get off the truck, I go take my vitals and I walk over there to wherever we're training. I'm like, man, I'm about to just tear this up. Well, then once we start the actual evolution, I realized, just the other day, this for instance, like I realized very quickly that I am not a hot shot.
I did too in the same drill.
And so we did a search and rescue training, that our, training lieutenant, sergeant.
Yeah. New training officer is lieutenant.
Officer. Yeah. Our new training officer, he put it on and, it was a search and rescue training with main focus on like a oriented split search or a regular split search, but the main obstacle of the training was being blacked out.
Yeah.
Having an insert in your face piece. And for me, I just got done with gypstick. I feel really comfortable being blacked out. Or not just got done with gypstick, but it's still fresh on my mind.
Yep.
I know what that feeling feels like being blacked out with no visual. And so that really wasn't an issue. Well, we start our evolution. They tell us to go. I take the door, struggle taking the door. So that was kind of like the first, eye opener.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, now like I'm struggling taking the door. And then I finally get the door open. I step off to the side. Well, I start masking up and, getting ready to go in. And I completely fumbled my whole, putting on my PPE.
Yeah.
I had both gloves on the wrong hands and both of my thumbs sticking out of the bottom,
Oh, goodness.
And I went with it and it turned out as good as you think it would.
Yeah.
But at the end of that, our training officer, he came up to us and he said, y'all did this. Hollis, man, like what happened? Like, you did not get your PPE on the right way. If this was an actual scenario, like you have now become a part of the problem.
That's
you're
right.
not fixing the problem. You're becoming a part of it. And that really hit me.
Yeah.
Because you don't really think about it like that. You think, oh, well, I just messed up. I just put my gloves on wrong, or I did this. But then once you get in that, someone tells you, well, you're supposed to be going in there to fix a problem, or mitigate a problem, and now you have become a part of that problem, and it hits a little bit more serious. And so at that point, I could start giving excuses. I could start, oh, well, I couldn't see. Or like, I had my insert in, or I felt like I was rushed. And, I could start saying all those excuses, or I could get mad and blow up or whatever. But instead, you got to hit that coachable mentality of, well, I messed up. I couldn't get my dang PPE on right.
So excuses are lies we tell ourselves to justify our subpar performance.
That's deep.
That's my thought for today. And I actually, in a conversation with Firefighter Huskins, he said his daddy always said excuses were lies. And I got to thinking about that a little more and more. And that's just stuff we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
And it is so many people get in that same situation. And in your defense, that door, it was destroyed before you got to it. And that affected your ability to get through it to a point.
It was, but then I went back out there the second day. I picked up some overtime and went back out there mainly to get more reps. That's really the only reason I picked up overtime. And went out there the next day. I had no issue with opening that door. I mean, I had it open as soon as I stuck the Halligan in.
Well, that's something, and we'll touch on this in just a little bit too, is those situations, like you said, sometimes we go into those thinking, I got it. It's going to go awesome today.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to teach this younger guy something. And then you get out there and it exposes our weaknesses. And it may be a weakness. It's not that you, from a broad scope, don't know how to force a door. I know you do. I've seen you do it. But if we don't do it all the time, or another task, like putting your gloves on, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, check this out. So, the second day I had the same issue.
With the gloves?
With the gloves. I got them on the right hand, but I got in such a rush that I went in with one glove on and then was like, well, I'll just put the other glove on while I'm going through the threshold.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't all the way. I turned around and touched the doorknob with my ungloved hand and then started trying to put my glove on. Well, I didn't know, but my training officer, he was right there.
Yeah.
And he said, Hollis, you just burnt your hand.
Yeah.
He said, and now you become like yesterday, you become part of the problem. And then he started hitting me with a little stick on the top of my helmet.
Yeah, well, that's just a wake up stick.
But it's so like for me, I love search. I love it's I would say it's probably one of my stronger suits of as far as fire scene task.
Yeah,
but like for me, the most important thing that I took from that training was I gotta slow it down and put my dang PPE on. Right?
Well, that's one of the things that we see though in those training environments. It wasn't your search technique. It wasn't because we had live victims.
Yeah.
It wasn't how you got the victim out. It wasn't the big things. It's these small things like getting through the door, getting your PPE on the right way. That's the things that crop up and get us. It's not the big, huge scope of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I thought about, we were talking about coachable. I've been married a long time now, but I remember being young. I was 23 when we got married. She's a couple of years younger than I am, and having to learn that it ain't all about me anymore. Yeah. It's about compromise and working together, and I have to let her know how I feel about things, and she's going to let me know how she feels about things. And I have to be in a mindset where when she tells me, hey, this is how I feel about this. Okay. I have to be able to accept that. And that's a lot of it is compromise. We learned that through years of marriage, but that coachable, like we've seen guys, and I won't call his name, but he had worked a long time in I think a manager's position in another job. Came to the fire department later, and if we were ever sitting around and said, hey, let's go to the bay and work on extrication. No, I just did that in rookie school. I'm good on that. Well, let's go over cribbing, or let's go whatever. Didn't really matter what you said. I'm good. I am squared away on that. Like I worked overtime the other day and we drilled on that stuff. It didn't matter what you brought up. He didn't want to go through it. He didn't want to train on it. He didn't want to do this. Well, then when you finally got him to go over stuff, you realized he didn't have a clue what he was doing. He didn't want to get in front of a crew and screw up. So he just said, yeah, I got it, man. I'm good. Well, that's terrible when you get on a scene somewhere, because it's going to show itself. So I think that is a huge deal why being coachable is important. Being able to take somebody's recommendations, even criticism, because we run that same drill that you ran. We were there together on our day, wasn't we?
Yeah, we were.
And like our search and getting the victims out went okay, but there was parts that I should have done better, and the training officer called me out on it.
Yeah.
And immediately you feel like, well, crap, but I had this and I had that. You can't worry about all that stuff.
Mm-mm.
You take and in the way that he delivered it was constructive. It wasn't browbeating you
or degrading.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It is, all right, this is what you did. This is what we got to fix, because if you don't, this is what could happen.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to take that and fix what you're doing or you're not doing.
Yeah.
And get better. We see so many people that just barrage of excuses
all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, like in our career, I mean, being coachable and not being coachable it could lead to some very bad outcomes.
Sure, it could.
I mean, it could lead to somebody severely getting hurt or even dying, on a fire scene.
Yeah.
I mean, you take for instance the guy that you were just talking about. You get out on 75 and you're having to do some cribbing, or you're having to, pull somebody out of a ditch or make an extrication or something like that. And you're telling your officer and you're telling your crew that you know how to do it.
Yep.
And then you get on the actual scene. I mean, you can put a lot of people in danger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And same thing with structure fire.
Yep. That's where it's going to show up.
And that's where, being coachable is important, but also just putting your ego aside.
Yeah, that's a big deal too.
Because, a lot of us are in the fire service, we're type A personalities.
Yep.
We want to be leading. We want to be, macho men. We want to, what I know is what I know, and, I'm always right. And we get that big ego.
Yep.
And, we don't really open up our ears.
That's right.
And when you get on a fire scene and, you're out there with several crews, you got to put that ego.
You do. You got to humble yourself.
Because if you get your ego too big, you can put a lot of people in danger.
That's right. So I'm going to throw this question out. What's a trait that somebody may have that immediately tells you if they're coachable?
They listen more than they talk.
That's a good one. That's very good. I agree with that one 100%. You can read somebody pretty quick on if they're going to receive your correction or your recommendation. Pretty quick how they're going to take that. So it's a good answer. All right, so let's talk about growth. So how long have you been in now?
We're a little over a year and a half now.
A little over a year and a half. So you're going to be working toward driving, relief driving very shortly.
I'm going to take my Class F permit right after this, actually.
Yeah.
So
that's coming up pretty quick then.
Yeah.
FAO in August?
I don't think
I may be doing it next time.
I think we're doing it next year for.
Okay. But you're not, and you mentioned this a little bit while ago, you're not brand new just in the door anymore. You've got somebody that has come up behind you and you're starting to get into that place where you're mentoring somebody else.
Yeah. It feels weird saying like senior firefighter, but because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at it on paper, I mean, that's what I am.
Yeah, that's true.
It's honestly been kind of, I wouldn't say stressful, but it's like, man, like I got to make sure that I'm really on my P's and Q's, because this guy's going to be looking at everything I do.
And he's building that foundation for himself that you just did.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything you do, he's watching how you do it. You run a specific call. We used to say, put on one more piece of gear than whatever your officer puts on.
Yeah.
He's watching you, and he's going off of what you teach him. With that growth phase, there's two words that come to mind that can destroy us or destroy somebody. Those two words are, I know. So somebody says something to you, yeah, I know, I got it. And that leads you to a place where you back off your training. And because if you tell everybody else, if they come to you with a recommendation or let's go do this or let's go do that, I got it, I know. After a while, you're not just telling them that anymore. You're telling yourself that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this incorrect perception that you know more than you actually know. And then we get back to what we just talked about. It starts showing up on scene, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Why do you think firefighters become harder to coach after they've been here a while?
I can't. I will preface this. I'm not for certain, just because I'm still kind of newer.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 10-year kind of guy. But
yeah.
I will say I pay attention.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys get in this mindset of like, oh well, I've ran this call over and over and over again. I've ran a structure fire over and over and over again. I've ran wrecks over and over and over again. And, they get to the point where they feel like there's nothing new to learn.
Yeah.
And what they've been doing, I mean, yeah, it may have been working.
Yeah.
But the thing with the fire service is it's constantly evolving.
That's right.
I mean, you have new construction being built. You have new technology coming out. You have, just for instance, all these electrical cars. If you try to fight fire with the water on an electrical car like you would a normal car,
it's different.
It is different.
Yeah.
And that's just a drop in the ocean of different instances that could come up. And so I think that I would use the word complacent kind of lightly, but also in a serious sense.
Yeah.
Because, I've seen it in myself a little bit. You get to a station that you really like, or, you get to a station that you don't like.
Yeah.
And, you may not want to train with the crew that you're with that day. Or you may have been training with the crew that you've been training with, and y'all think y'all are just jam up and whatever pops up on the CAD or whatever you get toned out to, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so then, you start kind of lacking on your training. You start lacking on, educating yourself, continuing to progress what you could do.
That's right.
On a scene, and you get in that complacent mindset. And then, like I said, if you're working with a rough crew, maybe they don't, focus a lot on training.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't really do anything. Maybe they just show up for 24 hours and then go home and never think about the job again until the next 24 rolls around.
That's right. We see that.
And so, you got those guys that it's hard to want to be, motivated around them.
Yep.
It'll bring your morale down.
Oh, absolutely.
Well.
We see that sometimes because our outstations typically tend to be more laid back than like headquarters.
Yeah.
Or our station 4.
Yeah.
And I have seen really good guys get transferred to an outstation And the next time I work with them, like, they have fell off.
Yeah.
And it's because I think the motivation is different. The crew culture is different.
Yeah.
I think there's another side to it too, because we have guys who have been here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and they get into the spot that you just described where they've run some stuff, they got some experience, and they feel like they've already seen it all. So they don't train. They're good with how they are. They don't want to progress. So they come in, they do their job, they go home. That never crosses their mind. It's just a job.
Yeah.
And I think that's a dangerous place to be. I do like your haircut, by the way.
Oh yeah. It was kind of a sudden decision, but it was so hot last week.
It looks a lot better than it did last week.
When we got done with that first training, and I realized, oh crap, I got to be back out here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this heat, I was like,
it was hot.
I said, nah, it's got to go.
Yeah.
And so I was asking people around if anybody had an electric, like some clippers
I
or
heard
something.
you. Yeah.
And then one of the guys that I was working with at the station, he was like, I think my wife has some. I was like, if you don't mind, will you tell her to bring them up here? And luckily she did. I did call my wife.
Yeah.
I did run it by her first.
Yeah.
She was not happy.
But you didn't listen to her coaching, did you?
Well,
you did it anyway.
I told her to trust me. I said, just trust me. I said, it won't be as bad, because I've shaved my head in the past. And when I say like, I've like razor shaved it, and it was not a good look for me.
Yep.
And I told her, I said, if you'll just trust me, it ain't going to be that short.
Yeah.
And so I took like a 4 guard to it and went out in the bay, and
we had a guy a few years ago, Tony. His got real long, and he kept saying, man, can y'all cut my hair? Somebody's got to cut my hair. It's terrible. So we found a captain at the station, and he had some clippers with him. And he said, yeah, man, I got these clippers that work really good. So we go out to the bay. Tony sits down. Cap comes out with his clippers. He's got 1 guard for him, and like 3 teeth broke off.
Oh, man.
But we cut Tony's hair.
Nice.
And it looked terrible.
Oh.
It was hideous. He liked it. It was shorter, but it was rough.
Well, luckily, the guy that I had helped me cut my hair, I think he did me he cleaned me up pretty good. So,
it was awful.
But no, I appreciate that. I did, because when I went back out there the second day, it was night and day.
Yeah.
I was like, holy smokes! I feel like my head can breathe. I can actually feel
You couldn't let the heat out, man.
It was awful. And then every time I put my Nomex hood on, my hair would get in my eyes. I'm like, this isn't it.
It was long.
But I was told by my wife that this was the last time that I was shaving my head. So,
all right. Well, she's the boss.
Yes, she is. That's that coachability right there.
That's right. She is the coach.
Head coach.
That's right. All right. So every firefighter remembers somebody who invested in them. And if I start calling a bunch of names, I'll miss somebody.
Yeah.
Because I've had tons and tons of people who invested in me and shared knowledge with me and shared their experience with me as I was coming up. And that's wonderful. That helps craft who we are and mold us. We take all of this information from each one of them, and we try to build a better version because we include all of them. Like I said, that is a big part of being coachable, but it can't stop there. We also have to share what we know. You mentioned having somebody coming up behind you now. If we take in all this information and we become really, really good, that's awesome. But we're not helping those behind us. We're not helping the fire service because we're keeping all this stuff in. But with all that being said, who do you think shaped you the most in relation to the fire service?
It might take me a second, because I'm getting to the point where I've had
a few
people that's really come along, and I could probably give you a top 5. My first year, I really had some jam up good guys.
We did have some good guys.
We did. And so, first off, a lieutenant officer from Northwest Georgia.
Okay. All right.
Or engine. My bad. Engine officer.
Engine
officer of Northwest Georgia.
Okay.
Derek Dodson.
Well, I appreciate that.
He's definitely up there. Adam Sambor for sure.
Yep.
He helped me a lot. Just get kind of getting my career path ironed out, getting my training really taken care of.
Yep.
He has a lot of drive, motivation, or just he loves it. Like he loves training.
He does.
He loves training, and right there next to him, I'd have to put Jared Robinson.
Yep.
Because he's the same way. Big training guy. He's taught me a lot of stuff. He's also just been a guy that I see him at the gym, or I used to see him at the gym. Man, I could vent to him about some stuff going on. Eric Huskins.
Yeah.
He is. What's crazy is, he's been with the fire service almost 20 years now, and he's still just an FAO.
Yeah.
But he is one of the most knowledgeable firemen that I've ever met.
I've told him I would put him in the seat right now.
Yeah.
Like he's
easily.
He's squared away. He knows, and his is from real world experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then probably to round it out, it's been recently, but Seth Bachman.
Yeah.
Man, he's a newer officer.
Yep.
And he just has a good mentality.
He does.
And I honestly think that's for me right now, just kind of in my chapter in my life and the season that I'm in.
Yeah.
That's really kind of what I've needed more than anything right now.
Yeah.
Because he just has such a positive outlook.
Yeah.
And you may have all this crappy stuff going on, all this drama going on, whatever's going on. It's in every firehouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the whole United States. But he just has this way of looking at it, man. And like he always says, because I'm like, man, I really don't want to wash the fire truck.
Yeah.
Like it could be a weekend, or it could, it's about to rain later that day, and you're like, man, I don't want to wash this fire truck. And then Seth will come in and he'll be like, if the hardest thing you do today is wash the fire truck,
is it that bad?
Is it really that bad?
Yep.
And then no. Like once you sit back and you actually think about it, no, it's just not bad at all.
That's right.
So, but no, I definitely round that list out with Seth. And maybe just a little recency bias, but for sure.
That's a good cadre though, because that is like some of those guys are empathetic and some of those guys are really driven.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are both. Some are compassionate and some are sympathetic, and it takes a little bit of each one of those. It's like baking a cake. It takes all these different ingredients.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I pulled from different people too. Like this guy was squared away. He may be more on the quiet, humble side, but he is squared away.
Yeah.
Take something from him. This guy may be an in-your-face training guy, but pull things from him. Each one of those sections helps build us into something better.
Yeah.
It takes all of that. What do you think made their constructive criticism easier for you to accept? If you did something and they said, Hollis, you can't do that anymore, or you're putting your gloves on the wrong hand, or whatever it was, what do you think made that easier for you to accept as opposed to a barrage of excuses on why it wasn't your fault?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It does. When to hit on that, let me go back real quick. If you're listening to this and you feel like you have helped me become a better firefighter, and I didn't list your name, please don't take it personally.
No, it's not.
But I mean, those guys, they're just those five guys, and I mean, and definitely others. It's just the way that they went about it, and because they're looking at you and they're not thinking, oh, this guy should know what he's doing.
That's right.
Because, I mean, I don't. And at those times where I was given constructive criticism, I definitely didn't know.
Yeah.
And so instead of making me feel like an idiot or making me feel like I shouldn't be here or I shouldn't be a firefighter, you know, they took that into accountability and they were like, man, if we just tell them the right way to do it in a way that he understands, then this can be really constructive for him.
That's right.
And I mean, that's just the mindset that those guys have, you know, because they'll look at you and they'll say, you know, and they'll look at you and they'll think, all right, either this guy really wants it, like he really wants to become a better firefighter, he really wants to progress his career path, you know, or they'll look at you and be like, dude, this dude don't care. And I think, me personally, I do care. You know, I care a lot about the fire service. I care a lot about advancing my career path, and those guys know that. And so with them knowing that, they can come at an angle from, well, I really do want to help him out. You know, I really do want to see this guy, you know, really grow and flourish in the fire service. And so I think that's just, I think that mindset that they had, it definitely allowed me to take that constructive criticism, and instead of going straight to, oh, well, you know, this, you know, and giving excuses, I didn't really feel the need. Giving excuses, honestly, didn't ever run through my mind. Yeah.
That's good. We've had, not so much now, in the past. We have training over whatever topic, and it may not go flawless or perfect or whatever. And then we get browbeat with no clear direction on how to get better. We just get beat for messing up.
Yeah.
And that's not a good training environment. Should we be corrected? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we talked about the drill that we did a couple of weeks ago. I learned a lot in that drill. I'm not the fastest searcher.
Yeah.
I'm thorough, and I'm not going to quit, but I'm not the fastest at it.
Yeah.
But learned things through that drill. Some of it because I've seen shortcomings that I had, things that I needed to improve, and then certain things that Lieutenant Robinson pointed out to me that I needed to improve. And it was his demeanor and his presentation of that correction is what made it easier for me to say, you know what, you're right. I didn't do this the way that I should have, or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
I think how that is presented from an instructor standpoint plays a massive role in
it's huge.
The effectiveness of it.
It's huge for sure.
Going back to coachability, it's not totally an individual issue. It can be cultural. It can be crew related. We've said before that you're a product of your environment. How does a company create an environment where people actually want feedback? So if we go to the bay and we've got the forcible door prop, how do we create an environment where people go down there? And let's change the scenario a little bit. All right, they go down there on a Saturday afternoon by themselves, and they go through the door prop a couple of times, and they notice maybe they're not doing something just right. They go upstairs, and they get their crew, and they say, hey, come watch me, critique me, give me feedback on what I'm doing. How does a company create that mindset, that environment, where it's okay to mess up? If you want tips, come talk to me. We'll go through it together. How do you think that comes about? Because there's a lot of crews that just, it's Saturday, don't bother me.
Yeah. I think the first, probably the most prevalent is just having a positive outlook.
Yeah.
Because that translates into a world of things. That's really good. Because I mean, for instance, if just to take the crew that I'm on right now, we're at Station 2. Let's just say, the forcible entry door gets put over there.
Yep.
And it's Saturday, and I'm, kind of running through my head. I'm like, dang, I struggled with the door, last week during search. I want to hit this thing a couple times. And I'll go ahead and say 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing that and Eric knows I'm doing that, I don't have to go and grab somebody.
Yeah, he'll be able to.
But for the sake of the question, say I'm out there doing it by myself, Eric's snoring on the recliner or something.
Yeah.
Or, and let's say Ryan's looking over some stuff on the computer, and maybe Richie's in the, in the workout room, hitting a workout. And, I get out there and I'm just having a brain fart, and I'm like, man, I cannot figure this out. What is going on? And I know for a fact if I walk in there and say, hey, guys, like, I'm kind of struggling out here, I mean, they are going to stop whatever they're doing, and they're going to come out there and they're going to show me.
Yeah.
And Eric, he may try to one-up you. Or, I can do it faster. Or,
he'll just take the door off the hinges.
He probably will.
Yeah.
He'll probably just pick the whole thing up and throw it out in the parking lot and be like, that's how you take a door. But in all seriousness, I mean, there's just a positive crew mentality around there.
Yep.
And it's like, I want to have your back because I know when the time comes, I want you to have mine.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
And I think that's kind of where you lose, a couple people. You can't have that.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably one of the worst mindsets if you have that mindset, you need to get out of the fire service. You need to find something else to do.
If we catch something, we're all going in the front door together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, it's not just you and your crew. I mean, it's you and, engine, 4, or it's,
that's right.
squad 4, tower 1. It's somebody else that's showing up at that scene with you.
Yeah. That
you also, they're counting on you to have their back, and you're counting on them to have your back.
That's right.
But to round it back out and come back to the original question, I think that one, having a positive attitude in your crew, definitely can lead to opportunities for helpful and constructive criticism. I've said it probably since, almost the beginning. Your officer.
Yeah.
Your officer really sets the mood.
That's right.
You can say what you want about your admin office. You can say what you want about your battalion chief. You can say what you want about your captains or whatever. And if your captain is your officer, then it's a little different. But it starts at that. Whoever's riding front.
Yep.
That they're going to set the mood.
That's exactly right.
And that's on a call. That's at the station.
Yep.
That is. Even on my off days, if I get an email or I get a text message, or I'm seeing like I'm getting moved to a different station. This is who my officer is going to be. It affects me.
Yeah, it changes you
because you're thinking like, oh man, I don't know if I'm probably not going to enjoy this shift.
Yeah,
this coming up shift, because you have those officers that set the mood either the right way.
That's right,
or they set the mood the wrong way, and it just trickles down.
That's exactly right. That mood is set. We've talked about this before. That mood is set walking in the door that morning.
Yep.
And then it carries over for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I try, especially structure fire bangs out, I try to keep the same demeanor the whole way through.
Yeah.
From radio traffic and everything, because we've been around those officers that go en route and they're screaming already.
Yeah.
They're so ramped up that they don't even remember responding to the call later. I try, but we all, like, I've been in this almost 13 years. My heart rate still goes up.
Yeah.
You still, this is what we signed up for.
Yeah.
But your officer, or if it's a sergeant riding up for that day, they determine the mood
100%.
for everything. And that's where you get a lot of the buy-in back from the guys.
Yeah.
Is based on that.
Yep.
So good stuff.
And I mean, I'll give credit to you. And I think I actually think we only had that Thornwood fire together.
We had it.
That was last year about this time.
Fight Street. We wasn't really together.
We weren't together.
Separate crews.
But riding, I mean, I even going back and thinking about that Thornwood fire, I mean, I was in the back and the whole time even from the point that, you know, we got the tones and to the point where we turned on Grassdale and saw the header. I mean, I just remember you being calm.
Yeah.
And even though I made some choice decisions and even though I was in the back seat ramped up, I mean, just hearing like your calm demeanor over the radio, I mean, it still allowed me to, I mean, even though it wasn't the right decision, you know, I got kind of this headset of like, okay, well, I'll also be calm.
Yeah.
And think about, okay, what can I do to help the situation? And I mean, I did what I did.
Did you learn from that situation?
Absolutely.
That's what matters.
And I think there's officers that they do get ramped up, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, you get some of those guys that, you know, you get a header, you know, you get a call come in or a structure fire come in and they're excited because they love it.
Yeah.
But they're also able to keep their demeanor.
Yeah, that's right.
But they also can get you pumped up. You know, they can get you excited, kind of like a weight room coach or something for a football game.
Yep.
You know, they get you pumped up, but when you get on scene, you're not so pumped up that you're running around
careless, and
you know, but you're pumped up to the point where like, man, I'm about to go in there and just destroy this fire. Or I'm about to go in there, I'm about to find every single person that's entrapped in this. And that's what you need.
That's right.
But then you have the other side of that coin where I'm in the back, you know, and I mean, it could be something as simple as like an electrical incident.
Yeah.
You know, you may have a power line down and some lights are out, you know, and, you know, you get an officer in the front seat that's, you know, stressing out or they're freaking out, you know, I mean, that's going to meet, and and they may not realize it, you know, but you're in the back seat, you're sponging everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you hear, you know, some unsteadiness over the radio traffic, you hear, you know, you're kind of looking at their body language and they're kind of, you know, freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I'm in the back seat like, oh my gosh.
He's got this experience and he's freaking out. Like, there must be something to freak out about. Yeah.
And that sets the tone for the rest of that scene.
That's right.
And it's just something that, and I know, I mean, it's easy to say with me riding in the back seat, and hopefully eventually I'll be able to be in the front seat. And
you will one day.
You know, I want to be that guy that either has the calm demeanor or the guy that, you know, gets my crew excited but also controlled.
That's right.
You know.
All right, let's move into, this is going to be rapid fire.
Okay.
Rapid fire segment. One habit every firefighter should eliminate.
Laziness.
That's a good one. What is the most overrated phrase?
I'm on squad.
All right. Okay. Cancel squad.
Cancel squad.
Okay.
Oh, man.
What is the most underrated skill?
Putting your PPE on.
Ooh.
The correct way.
That is a good one. That is so fundamental. That is awesome.
Dude, it really is. Because, I mean, you think about it, and not to interrupt the rapid fire, but, I mean, it really has been so eye-opening to me, just from last week. Like, I mean, if you tell me to pull a crosslay, I know how to pull every crosslay.
Yeah.
I know how to pull a triple, Cleveland, you know, Minuteman, modified Minuteman, whatever you want me to pull.
Yep.
I can pull a Scorpion. I can do whatever you want me to do with a high-rise pack. I can do all that. You know, you tell me to cut an A post or a B post or a C post, I can cut an A post, B post, C post. You want me to do a dash roll, I can do a dash roll. But once the going gets tough and the tough gets going, remembering to slow down and put your freaking PPE on the right way.
It's those fundamental things, man. That's where we slip.
Yeah. And the thing is about that is you're not going to have a whole training day
of putting your gloves on,
of putting your PPE on, or putting your gloves on. That's something that you have to on your own time go back to your station or on your off day.
That's right.
And practice.
That's right.
So, but that's my little soapbox. But
okay,
absolutely underrated skill.
Okay, what's one book every firefighter should read?
The Bible. Easily. That's easy. Now, I read that.
That was easy. What's one thing you hope firefighters remember about this episode?
I'd like to say the coachability. Like being coachable, but also when you are coaching somebody,
both sides.
Keep in mind there's a way to go about it that's effective and a way to go about it that's not going to do any good. I would like to say that. But honestly, I mean, just keeping a positive attitude is probably the most important thing, because it just it avalanches into so much good. Like if you come to work with a positive mindset, it's gonna spread. Yeah,
that's right.
And then that's where kind of everything else starts falling into place.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with negative outlook.
That's right. It spreads.
It spreads.
That's one thing I was thinking about while you were talking is how important the coachability is. And then flip side, being able to coach others appropriately, correctly, for a positive outcome. Another thing from this episode that we've touched on over and over and over, we were always training, practicing these more advanced skills. And we touched on this last episode, which was season 2, episode 2, the roundtable. We always push toward these advanced skills or this advanced stuff. That's great, but you've got to master the fundamental stuff first.
Yep.
And we all, at some point, so we did a drill in the spring, and we did a live fire burn. And walking up to the house, I've got my helmet on, like I'm ready. And Lieutenant Robinson said, "Hey, put your hood on." I've never forgot my hood a single time, but that one day I did. And it was a live fire burn. If I would have went in the door, I would have known it
immediately.
Quick, yes. So those little things, I mean, that's even with 13 years experience. There's little things that we still have to work on that are just fundamental stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I have got out of this too, is the coachability from both sides, but also the fundamental stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get that first and then build off of that.
Yep.
All right. Before we wrap up, is there anything we didn't cover today that you think firefighters need to hear about coachability, like we've talked about, humility, or continuing to grow? Kind of open discussion before we close out. Anything on your mind?
I mean, I just think it all wraps together. I mean, you talked about, coachability, humility, fundamentals. I mean, all of it. It's all one big puzzle.
Yep. That's right.
And every one thing will immediately reflect on the other. Because I mean, if you're not humble, then you're not going to be able to be coachable.
That's right.
If you're not coachable, then it's going to cause issues in your career. It's going to cause issues with your crew. You're going to start trying to make excuses for yourself. And eventually you're going to be in a rough spot.
That's right.
And then, touching on the fundamentals. I mean, it's the foundation of everything that we do.
That's right.
You can be hazmat tech, rope tech, swift water tech, whatever tech you want to be. But at the end of the day, if you show up on that scene, whatever it is, and you don't have your fundamentals down, then it's not going to matter.
That's exactly right.
Because, I mean, if you can't, and just to pick on myself a little bit, if you can't put your gloves on right,
nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters because you're not going to be able to do anything else on that scene.
That's right.
So just going over the fundamentals, taking those skills and working on them on your own time is going to be super important.
That's right.
Because like I said, I mean, we're not going to have a whole training day of what the fundamentals are.
Yep, we've already done that.
So, other than that, I mean, just keeping a positive outlook on it really as much as you can.
Yeah.
We have a guy, J. Ray. He just retired yesterday.
Yep.
Or yesterday was his last shift. And he always said, the only thing that you need to be worried about is what you can control.
That's right.
And really the only thing you can control is what your address is.
Yeah.
Just having that positive outlook and knowing, and this may be the most important thing, is knowing that people are looking at you, not just in the station. I mean, we go out into the public all the time, and knowing that people are looking at you and your body language and how you're talking and how you're carrying yourself, it will immediately affect them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you come off the truck, or shoot, if you even go into Dairy Queen to get a freaking blizzard, and you just are radiating negative energy, it's going to affect
that's
everybody around you.
Yep.
But if you get off the truck and you're positive and you're laughing and you're smiling, you're going to brighten somebody's day. And and not only just random people, but the guys that are on the truck with you that day, or the guys that are at the station with you that day, are going to feel the same way.
That's right.
And
good deal.
And honestly, that'd be the most important.
Yep. That's good advice. So for season 2, this will be our 3rd episode for season 2. We started a new segment called Faith and Fire. And it's just, we do it before we wrap up every episode. We take a few minutes. Whether you're a person of faith or not, I think the principles still apply.
Yeah.
Whether you're on the job or off the job, but we just go over a verse and we talk about it for a minute, and it's just, short, but we just tie it back into whatever we've talked about. But Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice." And I think that goes right back to our coachability. Sometimes we get to a place where we feel like we've got it all figured out.
Absolutely.
And everything's good, and we want to just say, I know, and we don't want to listen, and we just move on. But we have to be in that mindset where we listen. As an officer, talked about this before, pulling up on scene to a structure fire, I do my 360, and I'm looking for a bunch of different things, but that don't mean I can see everything.
Yeah.
If we get off the truck and you see the roof sagging, tell me that you see that. We have to be able to take information from it. And you said you've been here for 1.5 years. I have to be able to listen to your information. And if you tell me the roof's sagging and I look at it and I think, well, we got time to get in. We've got a victim.
Yeah.
Well, let's go get the victim.
Yeah.
But if you tell me that and I look up there and I say, you know what? He's right. That roof is sagging.
Yeah. There's
no viable life in there. We're not going in.
Yeah.
So you have to be to a point where you can take all that advice and all that information and process it. But that's the verse for today that I wanted to share. If you've got a verse, go ahead and share it.
What was that verse again? Proverbs
12:15.
Oh, verse 15.
The way of fool seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice.
I like the I like the verse after that too.
Read it.
It says a fool is quick tempered,
Yes.
but a wise person stays calm when insulted.
There you go.
And I think that touches on fire service again a little bit too.
Touches that right on what we've talked about today.
Because I mean, how many times have somebody insulted you or tried to get under your skin?
Your immediate thought is to get defensive.
Yeah.
even going back to coachability.
Yeah, literally.
Somebody, when Lieutenant Robinson pulled me aside the other day and said, "Hey, you did this. You need to work on that stuff." Immediately, I want to be defensive.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I couldn't see and whatever.
Yep.
You got to think through those things. Stay off the defensive side and take that constructive criticism.
Yeah. I mean, I did it. I mean, as soon as we got our, we met after the drill was over, he was like, Hollis, you didn't have your gloves on right, or on the wrong hand. And then when you went and grabbed that victim off the bunk bed, your glove came off.
Yeah.
And he's like, the fire room's right next to that.
Yeah.
And my first reaction was, oh, well, and I said this, I'll own up to it. I said, well, when I'm gearing up outside of the structure, I'll be able to see.
Yeah.
I'll be able to make sure my gloves are on the right way. And he immediately came back with, that shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You should have your fundamentals down.
That's right.
To the point where you can put your entire turnout gear on blindfolded.
Yeah. That's true.
And I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. Even for a fire alarm call, we're getting geared out.
Yeah. Every time.
I mean, you would think at this point, at least in my career, I should be able to put all my turnout gear on the right way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just being able to, like you said, try not to get defensive.
That's right.
Just take whatever's being told to you and be coachable with it.
That's right. All right, so let's move back into the personal stuff. We've done this before, and you told us you were an Ella fella last time. Are you still an Ella fella?
I've honestly, I kind of changed. Hold on. I ain't changed. I still like listening to my Ella Langley, but I've been kind of on a different music kick recently. More just calm stuff.
Yeah.
One guy, Ben Howard, he's a really good lyricist.
Okay.
Honestly, his songs are more like poems. Like if he's just singing a poem. Him and another guy named Dodson Tebbit. Really calm music, stuff that I just kind of put on in the background while I'm doing my, my college class stuff. But
I got you.
Absolutely still an Ella fella.
Still an Ella fella. Well, what about podcasts? Anything new?
Nothing new, other than, I've been listening to Wind the Q.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
But I've been busy. The semester really started kicking up.
Yeah.
The beginning of summer.
Yeah.
We're just now finishing up. So my off days have literally been like get home, go to the gym, come home.
Yeah.
Start my schoolwork.
That's why I'm in the middle of my bachelor's right now.
Yeah.
And it's the same way. And my daughter gets married next week. So it's busy every day.
I know she's getting married next week. Do y'all have a date for the next one?
Or
like a time
June
frame?
of next year.
Okay.
So my oldest will get married next week. Then my second oldest will get married June of next year. And then my third will be graduating with plans to, it's kind of up in the air. Yeah. She may stay local for college at this point, but eventual plans of moving off. So we'll go from 4 to 1 in a relatively short time span. That's going to be an adjustment.
That what is it called? Empty nest syndrome. It'll start.
It may
start realizing.
Yeah. So, big change short term. And I've said this before. I'm super proud for them.
Yeah.
But from a parenting side, it's a little sad too.
Yeah.
Just because we're moving into this next chapter, and they've always been homeschooled. We've always done everything together, and then they won't be there anymore. Like I said, I'm proud for them.
Yeah.
100%. I don't want it to sound like I'm not at all, but
it's like a bittersweet.
Yeah. So on the podcast, interesting thing happened last night. So we flew back from Houston.
Yeah.
And we're getting on the plane and guy sits in front of me, and I had on a Wind the Q t-shirt. And he said, I have this awesome mustache.
Yeah.
He said, are you a firefighter or a police officer? And I said, I'm a firefighter, and we talked about wear and stuff. And he said, so do you have your own podcast? And I said, yeah. And so we talked about that and why and stuff. And he was a federal officer.
Gotcha.
Federal, I think he said correction officer.
Mm.
And so he listened to Sambor's podcast flying back to Atlanta last night.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's pretty good. We talked for a good bit.
Heck yeah.
Super good guy, seemed like. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've been wearing that t-shirt you gave me to the gym, and I've had a couple people walk up to me and they're like, what's that? What's Wind the Q? I'm like, man, you gotta go listen to it.
Best podcast ever.
Dude, there's a guy on there, and the engine officer in Northwest Georgia, he's a beast.
Oh, my goodness. Somebody comments on that every time. I walk into the station now, and that's what they say. There's the engine officer.
Northwest Georgia.
It's become a tagline, I guess. All right, let's close it out. So Adam, I do thank you for coming back. You always bring an awesome perspective, both times you've been on. So I appreciate that, and your openness, and your ability to call out your lessons that you have learned, such as when and when not to wear pants.
Yeah.
Things like that. So yeah, there's that. But like I said, I appreciate you coming back on, and I hope we do it again in the future.
Absolutely.
Your willingness to keep learning. So I talked about you telling us about some things that you went through and whatever, but that whole willingness to keep learning. And I seen that when we were together, and I appreciate that, because so many people, like we talked about today, get to a point where they just quit. They get comfortable. And we talked about how comfort is stunting our growth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a big deal. Today's conversation, I think it's top to bottom. Firefighter to chief. Like it's awesome, because it doesn't matter what rank or what level you're at. We all go through these ebbs and flows of being super motivated and then maybe backing off a little bit, and, and making mistakes and learning from them. That's really what it's all about. None of us know everything. None of us have arrived. It doesn't matter if it's your first shift or your last shift. There's always something to learn. So if this episode has challenged you, don't just think about it. Ask yourself one honest question. Am I as coachable today as I was when I got hired? That answer may tell you exactly where you are in your career. So thank you for listening to Wind the Q, the stories behind the Sirens. Stay safe, take care of your crew, and take care of your family.
Boots hit the floor, jump in our gear, mask, gloves, door, screaming down the street.
Before we wrap up, if you've gotten value out of this podcast, if it's something that you listen to, that you share, and that you believe in, then there's a way to support it directly. We've set up a monthly support option through Buzzsprout, and that link is in the description. Everything that goes into this, the time, the equipment, the production, it all adds up, and that support helps us keep this thing moving forward and growing. If that's something that you want to be a part of, we appreciate it. And if not, just keep listening, sharing it, send it to your crew. That matters just as much, but we appreciate all of it.